All right. Cheers, everyone. It is I, Lady Amy Mitchell of Houses of Windsor, and this is virtual tea time with Lady Amy. I suppose we should update it. And today, my special guest is Brian Hartman of Pharus Global. He is the partner and co-founder. Brian, thank you for being on the show today.
I am very excited to be here, so thank you for inviting me.
Yep. I'm excited that I get to question you now, as I was on your show as a guest a couple days ago and was not used to that. Totally forgot what question I was answering in the middle of my answer.
Only one time, so we
Only one time. I know. I've been telling everyone about it.
we won't hold it against you too long.
Yeah, yeah. And pretty much every mom that I say that to, they're like, oh, yeah, yeah. Like, that's just, your brain is a mess now after being a mom.
What'd you call it? The mom bomb?
I called it mom brain. Yeah.
Mom brain. That's what it was.
Yeah. But so let's see. So we met each other. We connected through LinkedIn, right? That was how we found each other. Yeah. Okay. And so now it's like we're old friends.
Absolutely. We go back a long way, at least 3 weeks, maybe. It's so hard to get along with you, lady.
I know. I get that a lot.
It was tough, a hard decision to become friends with you.
Right. You're like, gosh, now she wants to do this too.
Oh, no. What else? What's going to be next?
So before we get too far, I have to ask where you're calling from, like what city and state, and then what are you drinking?
We are in the marvelous state of Florida in a city called Port St. Lucie, which is not too far from you, about 2 hours south of Orlando.
Oh, okay.
About an hour and 15 north of West Palm. So we're kind of in between.
Okay, nice.
And it's a little bit less crowded than some of the big cities. And I live in Vero, which is even more, how should I say it, less crowded?
Yeah.
More or less crowded?
Yeah.
Not as crowded.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Been down here now 27 years in Florida.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So you're sold on Florida.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't have to scrape windshields and, no snow blowing. Just got to hunker down for hurricanes every now and then.
Right. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, at least we got a pretty good warning for hurricanes, compared to like tornadoes up north, but.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, we had blizzards, you had tornadoes, and now we both fight hurricanes.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, we had blizzards and ice storms too up in Indiana and Chicago. Definitely got snowed in Chicago.
And a little bit of wind over there.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's not that bad. Yeah. But yeah. So I know someone who is doing business right now. He has to keep traveling to Ohio, where his clients are. And I talked to him this morning, and he said it was okay yesterday. It was like 60s or something. And he woke up to say it was 17 degrees.
Ooh. Yeah. My business partner, we have an office in North Carolina. He's up in the mountains in a little town called Hayesville. And I joke with him because it has 2 traffic lights in the whole city. And same thing over there. It was like 60s at the beginning of the week, and today it was supposed to be 17 degrees.
That's nuts. Yeah. So no, thank you. Yeah, I'll have to. I think my mom said she texted me and said something about snow this morning. Like they had maybe like a light dusting or something. Like
crazy.
Yeah, not on April 1st. No, thank you.
You sure it wasn't April Fool's?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I bet they wish it was. But unfortunately, it's the truth.
Unbelievable. I remember, we talked before the show started about opening day for baseball season.
Oh, right. Yes.
And I remember there was, when I was a kid, opening day ended up getting snowed out. Not rained out, but snowed out because there was a blizzard in April.
Right. Oh my gosh. So then Okay, so as you know, full disclosure, everyone, I'm not a sports person, but I'll ask you. So what are, I guess, the teams, like, who are you excited about for opening day, or is it just that you love baseball in general?
I am absolutely, without a doubt, a Yankees fan.
Okay, okay.
I could even prove it. I've got
Oh my gosh,
the
that's
tattoo to prove
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. That's
So
great.
yeah, I've been a diehard, and I'm like a third or maybe even a fourth generation Yankee fan in my family. So
Really
yeah,
nice. I think the only thing I think of for the New York Yankees is Seinfeld because George works there
that's right. That's right.
for a bit.
My son is born and raised in Florida, but he is also a diehard Yankee fan just
Yeah,
by default. He didn't have a
right.
choice in the matter. So
Well, that's good then.
yeah.
So yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I'm calling out of Altamont Springs, which in Florida, which is essentially North Orlando for all the people who don't know the area. And I decided today, my teapot's back here, but I decided to make the Cherry Rose Festival green tea.
Wow, that's a
Yeah,
mouthful.
yeah, it's a long name, but it's one of the few green teas that I like because it's flavored well, that it doesn't taste like grass. Doesn't taste like lawn clippings.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, some people really love that grassy taste, I tell you. It's just not for my palate. Um, but so okay, so why don't you tell everyone a little bit about your business? So what is Ferris Global? And yeah, whatever you want to tell us about Ferris Global. I'll ask follow-up questions depending on what you say.
Okay, sounds like a plan. So Ferris Global is our kind of like the overall umbrella for the ecosystem of companies that we have underneath it.
Hmm.
We do what we like to affectionately say, we can help businesses from the cradle all the way to the grave or
Oh
the
yeah,
exit strategy, right?
I remember that.
Depending
Yeah,
on
because I love that. I think that's great.
some people don't like the grave part, so we change it to exit strategy. But we have 8 companies on one roof, all kind of connected together. We started with Ferris Group back in 2008. My business partner Chris Morhart founded it back then.
Hmm.
We do with that company, we do outsourced managed services for companies.
Hmm.
So financial management, bookkeeping, marketing, HR, full service HR,
Right.
recruiting, management training. We do payroll, PEO, and we also do operations, KPIs, standard operating procedures
Hmm.
for businesses. And
Right.
from there, we've expanded into commercial mortgages with Ferris Funding Partners,
Hmm.
residential mortgages with Ferris Home Mortgage.
Hmm.
We do Ferris IT, full service IT services.
Hmm.
We have Ferris Insurance, which is personal lines and commercial lines of insurance.
Hmm.
We have Ferris Credit Solutions that does credit repair and building business credit with no personal guarantees. And then we have Ferris Practice, which is our medical practice management, billing, and coding company.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then we have a real estate firm, which is the only one that's not named Ferris something, and that's called Crest Corp. And Crest stands for Commercial Real Estate Services.
Hmm.
So we do both commercial and residential real estate.
Okay, okay. I love it. So then, okay, so what is with the name Ferris? Since everything's Ferris something, or
Yeah,
almost everything.
yeah. So if you were ever in a boat at night and it was dark, really dark, and the
Yeah.
only light you could see is from a lighthouse, that
Mm-hmm.
was your point of light.
Mm-hmm.
That's the definition of Ferris, a point of light or a
Oh,
lighthouse.
really? Oh, that's cool. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a Latin term, and that's the definition of it. So we kind of put a point of light for each business, each client to get them
Mhm.
going in the right direction.
Right. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. Awesome.
Yeah,
And
thank
so
you.
you've been doing it for, I forget how many years have you been doing this, or with
Um,
Ferris, I guess.
Pharus Group was established in 2008. My background was in commercial lending for longer than I like to admit, 25
Right.
plus years. And I try not to say that too often because
Right.
it's creepy, as it gets longer and longer. But each company, within each company, we have someone, a partner or someone heading up that particular company that has that experience. So
Mm-hmm.
for our insurance company, for example, we're partners with Rudy Chacon. He's been doing insurance for 25 plus years.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
Home mortgage, we have Frank Lillo, who's a partner, and he's been doing residential mortgages for over 15 years.
Wow.
And
Okay.
a lot of people ask how do Chris and I know how to do all of these things, and quite honestly, in some of them we don't.
Right.
But it all intertwines with being able to help the client
Mm-hmm.
depending on what their needs are.
Right.
So we brought in the troops that had that experience to be able to
Right.
offer that service.
So that's awesome. Yeah. So you brought in the experts for
Yeah,
those sections.
absolutely.
That's great. And so was your schooling, was that in finance or what was that in?
Yeah, so I'm a FAU graduate, so I'm an owl.
Okay.
So everybody's a whoo, whoo.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was assuming that's the only thing
Yeah,
that you can say for your mascot.
I don't know how they picked the mascot, but yes. And so I did study finance, bachelor's in business administration,
Hmm.
major in finance, and started in accounting and realized I absolutely couldn't stand being behind a desk.
Okay.
And quickly switched out of that and got into finance. And while I was in school, I started working in banks,
Hmm.
uh, beginning as a part-time teller, worked my way up through management training program, and then ultimately became a commercial loan officer, as well as I did about 5 years. I like to say I did my time as a branch manager, and uh, it was an experience, and I'll
Yeah,
leave it at that.
not not your favorite experience, but an experience.
It was enlightening. Let's put it that
Yeah,
way. Yeah.
that's
So uh,
so so
about four
outside of oh sorry, go ahead.
about 4 years ago, the bank that I was working for was bought out, and Chris and I had known each other as referral sources since he started Ferris Group in 2008.
Hmm.
And we picked up the phone and said, "Is it about time we start up our own commercial mortgage business?" And I said, "Absolutely. I don't want to go through another merger and acquisition and another name change of a bank." So
Uh-huh.
I literally must have gone through in 25 years about 15 mergers and acquisitions in the
Wow.
banking industry, and it gets old.
Yeah,
And
I bet.
so I
Yeah.
said, perfect timing. Let's go. Let's roll. I'm gone.
Right.
So that's where everything started, and then we've expanded quite a bit since.
That's awesome. Yeah, I so when I worked in accounting, like accounts payable, accounts receivable, I can say I probably the longest stretch before like a merger and like layoffs occurred. I think I maybe was at a place like a year and a half. Like we were all like it's almost 2 years. But I mean, most of the time I would make it like a whole 12 months a job before we there'd be this great merger and everyone's excited about it. And then they're like, okay, now you got to go train your Canadian counterparts.
Yep. I've
But
been there and done that, and that there's always the ups and downs, right?
yeah.
So people who are used to getting a steady paycheck are scared to death of going out on their own, and
Hmm.
now I could say we've both been there, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's not the easiest transition to do,
Mhm.
but if you can make it through, it's a world of difference being on
Right.
your own as an entrepreneur. So
Right. Absolutely. And with my layoff, so I was fortunate enough that, I was married and, it wasn't like a huge deal if I was going to be out of work for, until I get to the next job in a couple weeks. But really, for the most part, it always worked in my favor because I would get tired of my workplace, or usually it was, honestly, I'll say it was that I was, I don't know, too much of just, I don't know, I call myself like a good little soldier. So, like, if you ask me to do things, I'll do it, and I do everything really well, and like, I won't complain. But then that means I end up getting way too much to do, and like, and I'm stressed out of my mind.
Yeah, because
But
you don't
don't
know how
tell,
to say no,
yeah,
right?
but I won't tell anybody. And so usually it's like by the time the merger and the layoff would happen, it's like, good, I don't have to quit. Like, I don't have to tell them that I don't like it here. It's like, I'm like, well, I would have stayed here for like 20 years, but I guess I'm getting laid off. So it, yeah, absolved me of that.
I know the feeling. It's hard to say no. You need to know when to say no, and it's a
Right.
learning experience. It's different to say
Yes.
no.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say I'm probably still learning, but yeah.
Yeah, you and I both. We're both in the same boat.
Right. But okay, so outside of all of your finance stuff, what is your special hobby or interest or obsession? Like, clearly my obsession is England and English stuff. So I'm always curious to know what other people's, thing is if they have one. So people don't have any, and that's okay.
Well, it's interesting that you ask because I've always been a sports fan my whole life.
Hmm.
I played in Little League baseball when I was a kid. I did the bowling thing,
Mm.
but never really found the one that was going to be the exciting thing that I could do forever.
Hmm.
Um, about a year and a half ago, somewhere around there, I was introduced to this new. Oh, it's not really a new game, but it's an old game that's becoming popular, and let's put it that
Yes,
way. And it's called pickleball.
I love it.
And I absolutely am addicted to pickleball. Like
Hmm.
last weekend, we traveled. My girlfriend and I went over to Fort Myers, and we had to find where we could play pickleball during the time that we were away because we're both addicted to it.
I was gonna say, so she's a pickleballer as well.
Yeah, he's a pickleballer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Um, so pickleball is an interesting thing because when you first think about it, you're thinking of a pickle flying in the air going back and
Right,
forth,
right.
right? And I remember I was exposed to it um, almost by accident. I was on on a trip that we were going on, and I heard this noise, and it
Hmm.
looked like a tennis court,
Right.
and it was like it sounded like wooden rackets and stuff like that, and kind of weird noise, bing bing back and forth, right? Never really found out what it was, and I'm like, that's an interesting game. Just kind of looked at it, and that was it. Walked
Yeah.
away from it. About a year and a half ago, our general manager, Pete
Hmm.
Previtt, he's also an investment banker with us. He says, "Have you ever played tennis?" I said, "Yeah, I've played tennis before."
Yeah.
How about ping pong? I said, "Yeah, I played ping pong before."
Yeah.
Racquetball? I said, "Yeah, I played racquetball before." He's like, "Good, you're coming with me." I'm like, "To where?" He says, "We're going to play pickleball." And I'm like, "But pickle what?"
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And he took me to live pickleball, and
Yeah.
I played for the first time and hadn't put a racket down since.
Really? Okay. So it was yeah, love it first. First
It's
like,
like a combination of literally tennis on what looks like a miniature tennis court
right. Yeah.
with
Hmm.
paddles that look like oversized ping pong paddles,
Okay.
a wiffle ball that you would see and normally use playing wiffle ball like baseball,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's kind of got a little badminton in there also, and
Oh
all
my
of that
God.
combined into one sport.
That's that's hilarious. So
And
do you know why is it called pickleball?
the
What's
story
behind?
goes that the sport was founded in 1965, believe it or
Okay. Hmm.
not. And oddly enough, I'm almost positive it started in England, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I know it was overseas.
Take credit for it.
And the family that started it um, had a dog named Pickle. And they said, we're going to name this sport pickleball.
Oh my gosh.
That's how it
That's,
started.
that's amazing.
So it's developed. It's becoming more and more popular. There are actually professional tournaments,
Hmm.
just like you would see tennis tournaments now.
Right.
There's pickleball tournaments happening everywhere, and you see people from kids all the way up to like I've seen a guy that's 93 years old that's playing pickleball,
Wow.
and
So
um, and you'd be surprised, like 93-year-old can knock the pants off of
yeah.
you. So don't let the age
Right.
deceive.
Right, right. Well, as I say, I know, like, older people like to play tennis as well, or at least, I feel like that's like a, I don't know, stereotype at like the country clubs. But so is that as much movement and like running around then, or you're kind of,
Less. It's
yeah,
it's it's much less because it's a more compact court.
right.
Um,
Hmm.
you play a game can take usually 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
That's all it takes to play a game.
Yeah.
Uh, it's awesome because most of the time they do a rotation, like there's 6 courts,
Hmm.
and when one game finishes, you move your game down to the next one and then to the next one. And then when
Hmm.
you're done, you kind of go out the back door and
Yeah,
work
yeah.
your way back around to the front. It's a
Okay.
rotation, so anybody can play in, and you
Mhm.
get to meet a ton of people that way.
Yeah.
And, like I said, we were able to when we went to over to Fort Myers, we knew nobody over there, but we found a pickleball park,
Oh my
and
gosh.
they do the rotation, and we just rotated right into games and played for like
That's
3 hours.
That's awesome. So that's what I was gonna ask is are the courts usually indoors or outdoors?
They
I
have
mean around
both.
here. Yeah.
They have both. Most of the time in Florida, because it's warm out all year
Yeah.
round, they're mostly outdoors.
Hmm.
But I do know in other states that they do have indoor courts
Hmm.
as well.
Right.
Obviously heated for good reason, you know.
Right.
Um, so it is a little different. In Florida, they have them as well because it does get very hot in the summer,
Hmm.
and you
Right.
got to
Right.
drink a lot of fluids and have electrolytes and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So
Right. So
you gotta.
since your girlfriend does it, does that mean did you guys find pickleball together or did you like meet her through pickleball?
Well, I found pickleball first.
Hmm.
We had worked together years ago in the banks,
Hmm.
and we got reconnected almost by accident, like a silly thing that I walked into a restaurant to pick up food and forgot to put my mask on, and
Hmm.
she recognized me because I didn't have the mask on.
That's great.
And all I was concerned about was getting in and getting out of there because I realized I forgot my
Right,
mask.
right.
And so that's how we reconnected. We hadn't seen each other or talked in probably 7, 8 years or longer.
Oh.
And she had played tennis
Hmm.
before, so when she found out I was playing pickleball, she wanted to try it, and she
Right.
got addicted. It's addicting. You try it once, and you
Uh,
just can't stop after that.
that's what I've heard. Yeah, my back when I had a job at a pizza place in college, I still keep in touch with who was my manager there at the time, and he's into pickleball now. He and his dad are like all about it.
Yeah, there's different levels, there's different ratings, they call it.
Hmm.
They get rated as a player.
Right.
And then so they go by your rating, and then there's age categories in tournaments that you
Hmm.
can do, and um, then there's mixed singles and doubles, men and
Hmm.
women, and it's mostly doubles.
Yeah.
So and really it gives you good exercise, uh,
Yeah.
but it's not so hard on your knees, and and that's why there's such a range of ages of people that can
I
play.
see.
So it's cool.
Okay. So, okay, so for people who are totally, I'll say I'm almost completely clueless about it. I know some, but for people who are interested in it, so what would be like, I don't know, like a bit essentially what's like the price range that you should expect to like for this to cost? Like what's your but if you're just doing it for kind of like fun, I'm assuming you don't have to buy all the most expensive stuff, but you pay for like your court time every time?
Not necessarily. It
No.
depends where you go. Like the place that I normally go to has a membership, So it's like you get to see a lot of the same people,
Oh,
which is a lot
nice.
of
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
too, you know.
Hmm.
But this membership has like 700 members,
Oh,
and
wow.
so you don't see all the same people, and you get new people. You get so it's a kind of it's really cool to go like on Saturdays. We see a lot of the same
Yeah.
people and stuff like that. So membership is $100 for the year.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. That's cool.
very inexpensive. And
Yeah.
in fact, I'm wearing my membership bracelet.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I don't know if you can see it, but it says Pickle You member on here. And see if I can,
I
I don't
can
know
see,
if the
yeah,
web.
like I can see, I can't read it, but I can see, yeah, the blue
Okay.
color. It's hilarious.
That's how they know that you're a member. If you're not a member, you can drop, they call it drop in. You can pay $10 to play for
Hmm.
the whole day.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and paddles can run anywhere from as little as I guess $35-$40
Hmm.
to a couple of $100.
Right, right.
Um, sneakers become important when you really, if you're really going to get into it.
That's what I was
Otherwise,
gonna ask. Yeah, yeah. Like, what
um,
kinds of shoes? Like, is it? I don't know. It's like I feel like there's, running shoes, walking shoes, whatever. There's all kinds of tennis shoes. So, what is important for your feet in pickleball?
yeah, it's very similar to tennis. They do
Hmm.
have actual, they sell them as pickleball shoes or
Oh my
pickleball
gosh.
sneakers.
Yeah.
But reality of it is it any different than a running shoe? I don't know, but
Right.
people say they are, and that's what I've actually bought pickleball sneakers and use them.
Okay. Nice.
All different brands, and again, it's becoming more and more popular. So
Hmm. Okay. So yeah, because like the bits of tennis that I've played for fun, I just usually wear whatever tennis shoes I have, and I have noticed that some of them are not made to like, for the side to side movements real well. You
yeah,
gotta be careful with those ankles.
and you have to have good grip on the bottom, because
Right. Yeah.
usually you're playing on a hard surface. So you
Hmm.
are going to go back and forth, and you could end up sliding if you don't have a good
Right.
grip on the bottom. So,
Right. That's a
uh,
good point. Yeah.
the buying the pickleball balls,
Hmm. Yeah.
um, they can range anywhere from like $1 to $3, $4
Okay.
a ball.
Hmm.
You can buy them in bulk for cheaper, so it's not
Yeah.
very expensive. It's not an
Okay.
expensive hobby.
Yeah.
You do use your sneakers, and you probably have to,
Yeah.
buy new ones on
Mhm.
occasion. Paddles, same way. Uh,
Right.
but
'Cause-
if you're using them and wearing them out, that means you're doing a good job.
okay, that's good. Yeah, I was gonna ask. So, like, yeah, do the paddles wear out? Do they break? Like, do the balls break? Since
Oh
they're
yeah,
like, yeah. Okay.
the balls will crack.
Hmm.
So because they're literally flat like a hard plastic, like a
Yeah.
rubber
Yeah.
ball.
Hmm.
Um, but they do last for a while. The paddles, you can use them so much, and then eventually you're probably gonna want to replace them.
Right. Right.
And handles get a little bit, from sweating a lot and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so yeah, you probably want to change them up. Plus, there's different levels of paddles too.
Hmm.
So as you
Oh.
get better at the game, you might want to get better paddles. Things
Hmm.
like that. So.
So that when you're going in general to play, is anyone keeping score or keeping track of anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
do
it's,
the scores go somewhere like
yeah,
for the
you
next time?
definitely you can find the rules. Like if you just Google pickleball rules, there's
Hmm.
a true set of rules how it works, and it goes up to 11 points per game.
Okay.
And you keep score back and forth just like you would in tennis. Um,
Hmm.
scoring is a little bit different than tennis. It's not where you get love 30, 40, and
Oh yeah. Hmm.
this is just points back and forth. And when you serve, if you win, you score a point.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, but the good part is, 10, 15 minutes, you're in and out of the game. Maybe
Right.
20 minutes if you're going
Mhm.
back and forth a lot.
Right. Right.
But you definitely will get your exercise, and you can lose some weight playing pickleball.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I'm curious now since you say it's like so it can be such a fast activity and entertaining. That's how I have to exercise. I have to trick myself into exercise. That's be fun. So that's why I
Yeah,
was doing figure skating forever, and now that's not always so convenient with Piper. But she's taking lessons, so I skate
that's
around
good.
while she does it.
Yeah, she'll get it. It's,
Yeah,
yeah, and it's true, in pickleball, even if you've never lifted a racket, you can learn. Uh,
right.
there's
Hmm.
always coaches and people that'll help you, with lessons and things like that everywhere. So,
Right, right. Are there, have you run into any bad sportsmanship? Is there anyone that like gets you?
oh yeah.
I was like, or is it you? Are you the bad?
Oh,
I
never
wouldn't.
me. I don't know.
I know. I wouldn't guess.
You do get the people that are tough.
Mhm.
And again, it's different levels, right? So when you get to the top level game, it's intense. It can
Yeah.
be intense. So like the courts where I play, there we call it the north side and the south side. The north
Okay.
side is for like the higher level players,
Hmm.
and I sometimes call that the dark side, like it's going over to the dark side.
That's great.
Um, and they get intense over there. So occasionally I'll play there. There's no much less joking around. It's
Hmm.
all focus, focus, focus.
Right. Right.
South side, that's the beginners all the way to the intermediary
Hmm.
or intermediate rather
Hmm.
levels. And there's joking around, there's music playing, and it's
Okay.
a whole different way of playing. So
Yeah. 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 I think the South Side sounds like it's for me.
yeah,
Even if
and
I was good enough to play with the North Side people, I don't like that style.
yeah, it's the same. I enjoy playing on the south side more than the north side.
Hmm.
So
So do you guys have to keep your own score though? Or I mean, uh, for your average games that you're playing, it's not like there's any referees or anybody, right? Or are there?
yeah, if it's just playing, yeah, then we keep our own score, and
Okay.
but they'll make sure they're keeping the right score. So
Okay. Okay.
it's not like you can cheat the system. People
Right,
people
right.
know.
Yeah.
But during tournaments, then there's referees and true scorekeeping.
Right, right. So have you played in tournaments?
Not yet.
No?
Uh,
Okay. Do
they
you
just
want to?
I do.
Yeah.
They just had one in Vero, in fact, last weekend, and
Hmm.
I think that's going to be the last one in Vero that I'm not going to be playing in. So
Oh,
that's why we decided to go over to Fort Myers because we couldn't play pickleball this weekend, and
oh, I see, I see.
so we decided to schedule a short vacation trip so we can go play pickleball somewhere else.
That's awesome. A pickleball getaway.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
That's hilarious. So does your girlfriend want to be in competition too? Like, would you guys be as like doubles?
We've been talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. She's competitive, so.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh, is she a North Side person?
No, no, no. Well, she may be eventually.
Okay.
She only started about 2 months ago, and she's doing great.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. Okay. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And that's what happens. Like she played tennis for a long time, and it's almost like riding a bike. You pick up a paddle,
Oh,
and
right,
it comes
right.
back to you. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's really fun. Yeah, I might have to look into a little bit. Especially, I'll look up to see if it was originated in England, as you think it was.
I'm trying to
But I
remember that. I'm
really
almost
appreciate.
almost
Yeah,
positive that it was. I think so.
it sounds like something that they would do.
Yeah, no doubt.
So then, okay, so my question that I love asking, besides learning what your obsession or hobby is do you have any ghost or alien stories to share?
Do I have any ghost or alien stories to share?
So they could be your own or ones that like family members or friends told you about that you maybe thought there was something to it, or I also say like anything unexplained. So like there's some people that are like, well, it's not necessarily a ghost, but it's like really weird coincidences of like lives being saved and whatever else, maybe like an angel type thing.
I
Got
don't,
anything?
I don't think I could really think of one specific, although I do have, I don't know if it is a myth or not,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes when I'm doing certain things and I see butterflies, it,
Mm-hmm.
it's typically a sign that an angel is watching over you, whether
Oh,
it's
really?
a family member that passed away or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. It's usually like a sign of good luck, like somebody's watching over to make sure everything's going to be all right.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. Was
So,
that
yeah,
was that like passed down in your family, or where'd you learn that?
I think it was in the family, but I've heard it from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I haven't really, I didn't dig into it that much, but I think
Yeah.
like there's something to say about white butterflies versus colorful butterflies
Hmm.
and
Oh,
all of
like they all have a meaning.
that.
Yeah. Okay. So how often do you see butterflies?
It was interesting. Funny you should ask.
Yeah.
So last weekend there were tons of them over in Fort Myers, and I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's just coincidence or
Right. Right.
somebody
That's
watching over.
right. Right. It's
So
all the pickleballers of the past watching over your games.
could be. You never know. It's been around almost 50 years,
As
so
I say, yeah, yeah, there could be some pickleballers who are gone now.
yeah, definitely.
That's great. Have you ever been on any like historic ghost tours or any of that kind of thing?
No, I've always wanted to do them though.
Mhm.
I see them, a lot of places that we go. They have, I guess they call them ghost runs or something like that, and
Oh,
I've,
yeah.
I've never done them yet. Have you done them? Something like
I'm trying to think, not any in Florida yet. Oh, I guess I did one in St. Augustine, but I'll say in general, most of the ones that I've done in the States are, just sort of like super cheesy touristy or whatever. Like, you're on a trolley and nothing like really gets spooky. In London, they do better ones if it's a walking tour, but they can still be a little cheesy, or they just don't feel that scary because you're with like such a big group of people that you're walking with. Um, the one that I still say is like the best one I've ever done. I didn't actually experience anything, but I was very freaked out. And so that is in Edinburgh, Scotland. So they have what is called the underground, but it's not like the London subway system. So it is just underground tunnels that essentially when Edinburgh was like built, they were gonna be for like storage and whatever, like underneath shops and stuff. But what they I guess didn't account for was how porous the stones were up in like the roads and stuff. So like it just was wet and damp and gross down there like all the time. So it ended up being a place for like homeless people. I mean, the tour guide said like if you could afford a match, you could afford not to stay in the underground. So like it's pitch black down there. Like it was just like crime and gross and everything. So, and of course, there ends up being some story about how people got trapped and like a fire and whatever. And that I feel like that's how things always get started.
yeah,
So,
that's that.
um,
That's
yeah.
that
So
song.
there's
That's that
yeah,
song. How do rumors get started? Right.
yeah. So there's a lot of yeah, energy or whatever down there. But and they have current oh, like Wiccans or whatever, witches that have like a little room down there that they go and practice, do whatever they do in there.
Interesting. That is
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
But we saw so I did that one in like 2006, and I'll say that was before I watched like a whole lot of I don't know, ghosty shows like where there was one that was on for a while called like A Haunting, and it was like a new story about some real life haunting, like, a reenactment and retelling of someone's story. But they were like, I mean, pretty good, and they weren't all the same. But after watching that so much, I was like, oh my God, I'm so lucky I didn't get possessed down there, like accidentally.
It was like poltergeist, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was like, yeah, I'm like, man, I was just like there, there for the taking. I didn't even know it. but that place was cool. They had pictures in like the lobby that people would send into them after their tours, and it's like their arms with like scratches and like red marks and whatever.
Wow.
And they of course told us an awesome story before they turned the lights out on us, because they just had a flashlight and brought us into this one room and tell us all about this tour where there was a mother and, I mean, they said kid, but it's not like it could have been that young, but whatever. You're going to hold on to your kid's hand when the lights go out and you're with a group of strangers. So the kid's like holding the mom's hand, and they turn the lights out, like what they're about to do with us. And then when they turn the lights on, the kid is in the corner, like the far corner, and the mom and the kid are both like, I never let go of your hand. So, like, what you and then, of course, they tell us that they've got us completely primed, and they're like, all right, now we're going to turn the flashlights off and show you what it would be like if you were down here in the olden times. So my friend and I were like holding hands. We're like, oh my God, someone's going to end up in the corner.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have any. Yeah, that's like my ghost tour story. It's not so much a ghost story, but that's the best one I've ever been to. So, if you're not worried about accidentally becoming possessed, I would say give it a whirl if you're ever in Scotland.
So in other words, if I'm not worried about my head spinning around all the way.
Right. Yeah. If you don't want to accidentally bring some demon back with you to your home in Florida, maybe.
Okay. All right, I'll remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But so I'll also ask you then, because this is the same topic, but usually I find that people are either more ghost or alien leaning, meaning like, so say you walked into your kitchen and like all the cabinet doors are open, but also all the dishes are stacked in a weird like geometrical shape, right? Would you automatically think ghost or would you think alien?
Definitely ghost.
Okay, see, I'm on the ghost page too, but that actually is something that they do in an alien movie, and my friend Kyle's like obsessed with aliens, obsessed slash terrified, and always watches the movies. And so I watched it with them. And that's when I saw that scene. I was like, see, if I didn't know this was going to be an alien movie, that looks like a ghost to me. He's like, you're kidding me. I would automatically think it's an alien. So
No way, that's a
I
ghost.
know.
Especially, I know Casper pretty well.
Oh yeah, I did love Casper.
Casper would leave all the kitchen cabinets open for sure.
Right. I know, yeah, it's like the cabinets, yeah, it's like that's such a ghostly thing. But then when you do like the weird, stuff with the dishes or whatever, put them into weird, futuristic looking shapes or whatever.
Could go either way, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, but I find it becomes almost more about what you're more interested in. So I find ghosts more interesting than aliens. I don't care, like they can be, I don't say that they don't exist, but I'm like, I'm not interested. So I didn't know if do you have it's like a feeling either way of which one's more entertaining to you?
Definitely, I like the ghost attractions.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's more my speed.
Yeah. That's awesome. There's a winter park ghost tour here, like in the Orlando area, that I need to go on. The owners of it, I think it's oh shoot, I think it's called the Orlando Tour Company, but they are in the British American Chamber of Commerce with me, so that's how I know about that. So I'm gonna go on one of those ghost tours one of these days and
Cool.
see how they hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, thank you so much for being on the show. I'll ask you, do you feel good? Do you feel like you got anything else you want to say?
I always feel good, and no, I think for any business owner that's out there or real estate investor, if any questions at all or anything that you have in mind, something that's uh, annoying you or troublesome or something exciting, it doesn't matter. Happy to talk. You can feel free to schedule a meeting with me, and love Zoom, so we can jump on a Zoom call anytime and go over whatever it is that you want to talk about.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've got the link for Pharus Global and for your scheduling in the comments here. And yeah, so I know your show that you do. So how do you find guests for that? Are you
So
open to people? Yeah.
we do a live at 5, a live at 5 every Tuesday evening. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's live at 5, and people still ask me, what time is that? And I'm like, 5, and it's 5 o'clock Eastern.
Right.
And if you are a business owner or a real estate investor and you'd like to get some exposure and make some more contacts and just tell people about what you're doing, we're happy to have you on. We do it interview style, so I'll ask for 5 to 7 questions you'd like me to ask you, and catchy subject lines so we grab people's attention. And we go live to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter all at the same time.
Right.
And then it's available for replay after that, and for you guys to use for your own marketing purposes after that as well. So
Right. Which is really,
I think it was pretty fun. We had a good time, right?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. I joke about not being used to being a guest, but I was like, it was fun. I liked it.
Yeah. It lasts for about a half hour, 45 minutes, something like that. And it's a good time. It gets good information out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun to do. And yeah, and so if you say it streams to YouTube as well? So you have a YouTube channel then? Yeah, that I should put up.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, LinkedIn requires you to apply to be able to go live. So that's something that you should definitely look into. LinkedIn, it's interesting. They just changed this. I haven't seen it yet. In fact, I just read it this morning. But when you go live on LinkedIn, your cover photo becomes live.
Oh,
So anybody that comes to your profile will see the live event happening.
Oh, I like that. I bet some other companies will be copying that.
Yeah. So that's something fun. And so we're open to just about anybody that is interested in getting some more exposure for their company. Reach out to me, let me know. I'm happy to put you on the schedule.
Awesome. Well, I appreciated being on it, so thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for being there.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, everybody, this was another episode of Virtual Tea Time with Lady Amy, and we had a wonderful guest, Brian Hartman of Pharus Global.
Thank you very much.
You. Yeah, thank you so much for being on, and I will say cheers.
Wait, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Cheers.
Ready? Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.